Leadoff batter, left fielder Alex Gordon. 1-1 the count. Kevin Millwood on the mound. His 20th start of the season. Here's the windup and the next pitch, and a swing and a miss, and the count 1-2. A nice crowd this afternoon as right before the ball game we honor the two newest members of the Mariners Hall of Fame, Randy Johnson, the big unit, and Dan the Man Wilson. Way to go, fellas. Here's the windup and the 1-2 on the way. Swing and a pop out of play on the third base side, and the count is still 1-2 on Gordon. Millwood, with a record of 3-8, has a 4.13 ERA, coming off a good outing but a loss on Monday night to the Yankees 4-1. He went 7 innings though, gave up 3 runs. He walked only 2, struck out 5. The windup and the 1-2 pitch, fastball, strike 3 called. He got him looking. Kevin Millwood striking out Alex Gordon for the first out of the ball game. Our first pitch of the game today was brought to you by Puget Sound Energy. Here's a perfect assist, a $500 rebate from Puget Sound Energy on an Energy Star heat pump water heater. Get in the game and get re-energized. Visit psc.com/rebates. 1 out, no score, top of the first. And here's shortstop Alcides Escobar. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. We got underway quickly. Brought to you by Dodge. Experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Go to Dodge.com and check out their powerful lineup. Here's the pitch to Escobar, and it misses for ball 1. Gordon leading off, just struck out. Escobar, the shortstop, batting second. Hitting third, the third baseman today, Mike Moustakas. Here's the windup and the pitch. Bunt attempt and a beauty along the third base line. Charging Seager, bare hands, throws wide to first, and it gets on by Carp, and it gets wedged underneath the padding on the right field side by the tarp, and down to second base goes Escobar on a bunt single and a throwing error, a rare throwing error by third baseman Kyle Seager. So Escobar winds up on at second base on the bunt single. 1 on and 1 away, no score, and here's third baseman Mike Moustakas. Billy Butler batting cleanup, he's the DH. Hitting fifth at second base, former Mariner Uni Betancourt. Brian Pena, the catcher, will hit 6th. Batting 7th, the right fielder Jeff Rancourt. Hitting 8th at first base is Eric Hosburn. Batting 9th, the center fielder Jared Dyson. We'll give you the Mariner lineup when they come up to hit in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the set by Millwood and the pitch to Moustakas, and he takes a look at a strike 0-1. The home plate umpire this afternoon is Jordan Baker. Calling balls and strikes. Lance Barrett, the umpire at first. Danny DeMuth at second, the crew chief. And Doug Eddings is the umpire at third. What a great afternoon already. We had the former Mariners here at the ballpark and all the current members of the Mariners Hall of Fame. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's up and in on Moustakas for ball 1. 1-1. Alvin Davis was the first member of the Mariners Hall of Fame, followed by the late great Dave Niehaus, his wife Marilyn here at the ballpark today. Also Jay Buhner and Edgar Martinez, and now we have Randy Johnson and Dan Wilson. Randy.
I'll take all of them, put them in the lineup, and give them a uniform and play them tomorrow.
Sounds good. 1-1 the count on Moustakas. And both Dan and Randy had great comments prior to the game for the folks here at the ballpark and on our radio network. Next pitch on the way. Fastball. Swing and a miss. And the count goes to 1-2 to Moustakas.
I got a big kick out of Dan saying that when he married Annie, he fell in love with her when they were in the 3rd grade.
How about that?
Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's really nice.
I was sitting next to Dan's dad. Here's the 1-2. Swinging a line drive down the right field line. This one is a foul ball. It bounces into the seats, then angle out toward the line. Into the crowd, out of play, and the count is still 1-2 on Moustakas. And I turned to Dan's dad, Stan. I said, really? 3rd grade? He said, well, they knew each other since the 3rd grade. They didn't start dating until high school.
Well, until they got a little older.
But that's amazing, isn't it?
That's,
the 3rd grade. Dan knew.
Yeah.
Hey, that's why he's the man. Dan the man. Still 1-2 on Moustakas, hitting .263. 16 home runs, 50 RBIs. Escobar lead at second. Millwood will look back. Here's the 1-2 again, and it's up high with a fastball. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is game 3 of the 4-game series. The Mariners have won the opening 2 games against the Royals. 4-1 a couple of nights ago. 6-1 last night behind the pitching of Blake Bevan. Millwood ready. And the 2-2 on the way, and a swing and a foul on the ground on the first base side by the Mariner dugout, and Felix Hernandez had to get out of the way. And it's still 2-2. And the Mariners, Red, this year have had their success against Kansas City, winning 5 out of 6 games against the Royals.
Yeah, they have. They've scored a lot of runs here in those 6 games that they've played against them.
1 on, 1 away, no score, top of the first. Moustakas, 2-2 the count. Here's the stretch and the Millwood pitch. It is strike 3 called. He got him looking. A fastball. Moustakas shakes his head as he walks away from home plate. Disagrees with Baker, the home plate umpire.
Yeah, he thought it was high.
And 2 strikeouts already for Kevin Millwood. And Red, Millwood doesn't throw all that hard. I mean, this fastball still has some life to it, obviously, 90-91, but he can get that fastball by hitters.
You know, you bring up an interesting point. You don't have to throw hard. It's where you put the pitch, and the fact is that they're throwing the ball 89, 90 miles an hour. That's getting up there pretty quick.
Yeah.
People don't realize how fast that really is.
Here's designated hitter Billy Butler. Be careful with this guy. Pitch on the way, and it's a fastball high. Ball 1. Billy last night 2 for 4. Couple of singles, and a couple of nights ago he had 2 hits, 2 doubles, and a run batted in. Drove in the Royals' only run of the game in that 4-1 loss. Jason Vargas 2 nights ago went 8 innings, gave up 1 hit. Here's the pitch, and it's down and away. Ball 2. 2-1 the count.
You know, a lot of times you say it's an average fastball, 88, 89 miles an hour, but you know, stand in that batter's box and have something go by you at 88 or 89 miles an hour.
It's got some giddy up.
It's got some giddy up on it.
Yeah. 1 on, 2 outs, no score. And the Millwood 2-0 to Butler is a strike call. 2-1.
Got to be careful, this guy. He has had success against Millwood, batting .320 in his career against Kevin.
Man, he hit one way out of here, but foul last night. Way up into the upper deck down the left field line, up by the tracks where the roof rolls on. Millwood checks the runner Escobar, and the 2-1 pitch. Butler with a swing and a pop out of play behind home plate, almost into the upper deck, and the count goes to 2-2 on Butler. Give an idea how good the starting pitching has been really all season long, but especially over the last 9 starts. Mariners starting pitchers are 6-1 with a 1.74 ERA with 43 strikeouts over the last 9 games. That's some kind of pitching from the starters, and the bullpen has done a nice job. They've been outstanding all year. Here's the set, and the 2-2 to Butler. Swing and a soft line drive down the right field line, going to drop in, a fair ball. Escobar running third. He's going to score. Up with the ball is Casper Wells. No throw to the plate. His throw will get into second base. Billy Butler with a soft single to right field to drive in Escobar, and the Royals have a 1-0 lead.
Well, we just mentioned to you that Butler does have success against Kevin Millwood. He's now 9 for 26, so with .320 batting average, he's going to jump up a few notches.
Butler just going the other way, serves it down that right field line. So Kansas City with the first run of the ball game, top of the first, and here is second baseman Yuniesky Betancourt.
You know, with first base open, I think Millwood would like to have that pitch back.
Yeah.
I think he made a mistake.
Pitch on the way to Betancourt is a fastball that misses, ball one.
Because here's a guy you don't have to throw a strike to. I mean, Yuniesky Betancourt, 199 at bats. He has only 9 walks.
Yeah, he's up there swinging. Right-handed hitter, former Mariner. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Swing and a foul out of play behind the plate, and the count is even on Betancourt at 1 ball and 1 strike.
The point being, with Betancourt up there, you don't have to throw him a strike. He's going to go.
Yeah.
He's going to go out of the strike zone to swing at pitches.
Butler on at first base, 2 outs, a run in. Little different look this afternoon. Trayvon Robinson getting a start in left field. Here's the stretch and the pitch, and it's outside. Ball 2, 2-1. So Robinson on the left, making his 2012 debut. He was up for a while with the ball club last year. Came over from the Dodgers organization. So Robinson in left, Saunders in center, Wells in right. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled out of play on the first base side, terrace level. And the count is 2-2 on Betancourt. Royals making Millwood work here in the first inning. That was his 23rd pitch. Round the infield, Seager at third, Ryan at short, Ackley at second, Carp at first. The battery of Millwood and Olivo. Butler again a lead at first. Held on by Carp. The stretch by Millwood. And the veteran right-hander delivers, and it is strike 3 called on the outside corner. Betancourt is caught looking. So Kevin Millwood strikes out the side here in the top of the first inning. 3 strikeouts for Kevin. But the Royals get 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on. We're underway here at Safeco Field on Hall of Fame Day for Randy Johnson and Dan Wilson. We go to the bottom of the first. Kansas City 1 and the Mariners coming. Royals lead by a score of 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Dustin Ackley will lead it off against veteran left-hander Bruce Chen. Chen's 7-8 record with a 5.54 ERA in 21 starts. This guy has been around for a long time. It's his 14th year in the big leagues with 10 different ball clubs. Chen with 10 different teams. Atlanta, Philadelphia, the Mets, Expos, Reds, Astros, Orioles, Boston, Texas, and now Kansas City. Here's his first pitch on the way to Dustin Ackley, and it's in and over for a strike. 0-1. Great to see the Bone, Jay Buhner here at the ballpark honoring Randy and Dan, along with Edgar Martinez. Marilyn Niehaus swinging a foul back and out of play by Ackley, and the count is 0-2. And also the very first member of the Mariners Hall of Fame who we visited with yesterday, Mr. Mariner Alvin Davis, was the first to go in back in 1997. Here's the pitch, breaking ball, down and away to Ackley for ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dustin hitting .226, 6 home runs, 28 RBIs. The windup and the 1-2 pitch is another curve down and away, ball 2. 2-2. Back on July the 18th in Kansas City, Chen worked against Seattle. No decision. Kansas City won that game 8-7. Here's a swing and a one-hopper right back to the mound. Taken by Chen. Little shot put throw to first base, a little wide, but it's handled by Hosmer in time to get Ackley, and there's one away. Hey kids, while the Mariners play in the Safeco Field Diamond, you're invited to play in an area made just for you, the Seattle Children's Playfield, located on the main concourse in center field. While you're there, pay a visit to the Moose Den to have your photo taken with none other than the Mariner Moose. 1-0 Kansas City. One out, bottom of the first, and here's right fielder Casper Wells. Wind up and the pitch outside, ball 1. On deck is center fielder Michael Saunders. Man, the Mariners have had a good time offensively against Kansas City's pitching staff this year. The pitch outside, ball 2, 2-0. Mariners are hitting .327 against the Royals. 26 extra base hits. They're 5-1 in 6 games. Here's the pitch, strike on Wells, and the count goes to 2-1. Now the cloudy skies are moving out. We're seeing some great big patches of blue skies above Safeco Field right now. Here's the windup and the 2-1 pitch swung on, popped out of play down the right field line, and the count is even on Wells at 2-2. Mariners have scored 41 runs against the Royals. They've outscored Kansas City 41-21 in these 6 games. Here's the windup and the pitch. Check swing by Wells, and he fouls it off to catcher Pena, and the count is still 2-2.
Looked like Casper Wells that time was trying to hold up about halfway through the swing.
Just got a piece of it, and the foul ball got a piece of Pena. So that had to hurt. 1 out, nobody on. 1-0 Kansas City. The 2-2 pitch. Outside, ball 3. Off-speed pitch from Chen, who dropped down sidearm. Missed away. Full count. Here's the windup and the payoff pitch. Swing and a ground ball down the third base line. Diving stop behind the bag. Moustakas, the throw to first, not in time. Moustakas threw from his belly. The throw to first was just a little bit late. Great hustle by Casper Wells. But what Moustakas did, though, was take a double away from Casper. So Wells with an infield base hit. But what a play behind the bag at third by Mike Moustakas.
Well, I tell you what, that was an outstanding play. And I mean, that was a bang-bang play at first base, but what a defensive play. Wow.
Got to a knee, spun around. By the time he threw, he was on his belly. So 1 on and 1 away. 1-0 Royals, and here's center fielder Michael Saunders. Jeff Datz coaching down at third base. Mike Brumley coaching at first base. Chen working from the stretch. Here's the pitch on the way. Saunders takes a slider, strike on the outside corner. 0-1. The game that Chen pitched in Kansas City, that 8-7 win, he went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 4 runs, all earned on 7 hits. Now the stretch and the 0-1 pitch, another breaking ball low and outside, ball 1 this time, 1-1 on Saunders. Billy Butler ended up winning that game with a walk-off home run in the bottom half of the 9th inning. That was the only game Kansas City took in that 3-game series at Kauffman Stadium. Saunders hitting .257, 10 home runs and 34 runs batted in. Wells the lead at first. Here's the pitch, and it's a strike called a change, and the count is now 1-2. So Saunders has seen nothing but 2 soft breaking pitches and that changeup. Game time temperature this afternoon here at Safeco Field, 64 degrees. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's another breaking ball, and it's just outside, ball 2. Good eye by Saunders. 2-2 the count. Seems like home plate umpire Jordan Baker has had enough of somebody inside the Kansas City dugout. I'm not going to have any more of that. Baker's comment. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, broken bat, looping line drive up in the air, and short. Escobar to make the catch and throw it back to first. And back in time with a dive is Casper Wells. Saunders lines out softly to the shortstop. Alcides Escobar had to time that leap. A step onto the grass in left field. Let's pause. For station identification, this is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network. Here's designated hitter Jesus Montero, but a toss over to first by Chen to get Wells back to the bag. 1-0 Royals. Bottom of the first. Jesus Montero batting .262, 9 home runs and 38 runs batted in. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Swinging a line drive, pulled foul down the left field line, and it's 0-1 on Montero. How about Montero against Kansas City this year?
Boy, he's wearing them out.
Batting .600, 12 for 20 against Royals pitching. 6 runs scored, 3 doubles, a home run, and 8 RBIs in 5 games.
That's a pretty good season, period. I mean, they still have more games to play.
600. Here's the pitch. Swing and a pop-up outside of first. Over to take a look is Hosburn. This one is going to sail way back into the crowd, out of play, and the count is 0-2 on Montero. Jesus backs away from the plate, tightens up the batting gloves. Wells on at first with 2 outs. Here's the set by Chen. And the 0-2 to Jesus, and it's outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chen last year with the Royals was 12-8. He spent some time on the disabled list with a strained left side, and even those time on the DL, he led the Royals in wins with 12. Here's the stretch and the 1-2 pitch, low and inside, bounces in, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yes, indeed, great to see Randy Johnson back here and Dan Wilson inducted into the Mariners Hall of Fame. And Red, I can still see Randy with that long mullet, that hair flowing off the back of his neck, firing 98-mile-an-hour fastballs of Mr. Snappy. That
Mr.
slider.
Snappy.
Here's the set and the 2-2 to Montero. Swinging a line drive into left field, and it's a base hit. Drops in front of Gordon. Had to play it on the short hop. He was getting closer. Down to second goes Wells, and Montero hit a BB to left field. 2 on, 2 outs, 1-0 Royals, and here is third baseman Kyle Seager.
You were talking about Randy and Mr. Snappy. You know, I've talked to a lot of right-handed hitters that had to hit off of, and they were afraid that Mr. Snappy, that slider that he threw low and inside, that they would swing and miss it and have that ball hit him in the back foot, hit him in the right. Yeah, well, it did a few times.
Yeah.
He said, you know, boy, if you're going to go after it, you got to make sure you hit it, otherwise it's going to hit you right in the ankle.
Had that kind of snap to it, Mr. Snappy. Tying run on at second. The go-ahead run is on at first base. Montero got a hanging curveball and drilled it into left field. Here's Kyle Seager. Seager batting .238, 11 home runs though, and 60 runs batted in. The stretch and the pitch, curve, strike on the outside corner, 0-1. 34 of his RBIs have come with 2 outs. And there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Chen has come out throwing a lot of breaking pitches. Wells at second, Montero at first. Here's the set. And now time is called. Seager backs away from home plate. Mariners winning last night by a score of 6-1. Now Chen is ready. And the 0-1 pitch, another breaking ball. It's outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. As we mentioned, the Mariners have scored 41 runs against Kansas City this month in just 6 games. They've scored 45 runs against everybody else in the month of July. The stretch and the 1-1 pitch, swinging a fly ball into the gap in right center field. Going back, Francoeur and Dyson, and it's going to be Francoeur who makes the catch out near the 1-inch track, and that will end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on. We go to the top half of the second. It's the Royals 1 and the Mariners nothing. And welcome back to Safeco Field as we go to the top half of the second. The Royals lead by a score of 1-0. Mariners had a shot, could not get to Bruce Chen in the bottom of the first inning. Well, their stock is rising, brought to you by StockCharts.com. Focus is today on hard-throwing right-hander reliever Carter Capps down at AA Jackson, Tennessee. He was promoted yesterday from AA Jackson. Capps allowed 2 earned runs over his last 37 1/3 innings. Here's the windup of the pitch to Brian Pena from Millwood. A strike called, and the count is 0-1. This season at AA, Capps 2-3 with 19 saves, a 1.26 ERA, and 72 strikeouts in 50 innings. How about that? Here's the windup of the pitch, up and in on Pena. Ball 1-1. StockCharts.com, simply the web's best financial charts. That kid is on the way. Carter Capps, promoted yesterday from AA Jackson to AAA Tacoma. Throws hard. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's a strike on the outside corner. 1-2. Pena getting his first start of the series. He backs up Salvador Perez, the starting catcher. Pena batting .271, a home run, and 18 runs batted in. Millwood ready, the windup, and the 1-2 pitch. Up and outside, ball 2. 2-2. Kevin Millwood was involved in one of the most interesting games, well, in the history of the game of baseball. A combined 6-pitcher no-hitter. That was back on June the 8th against the Dodgers. Mariners won 1-0. 6 pitchers combined on a no-hitter, only the 10th in Major League history. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swung on, line drive right at third baseman Kyle Seager, playing way off the line. Seager makes a shoestring catch, looks at the third base umpire, Doug Eddings, saying, hey, I caught it on the fly, and Eddings said, yeah, you did. So 1 out for the Royals here in the second. And it was only the 3rd no-hitter in the history of the Mariners, and the guy who threw the first one is here at the ballpark. The honoree today, Randy Johnson, going to the Mariners Hall of Fame. He no-hit the Detroit Tigers back in 1990. Here's right fielder Jeff Francoeur, the windup and the pitch. Swing and a towering pop-up. Shallow left field. Ryan going out looking for it. Shades his eyes with his glove toward the line. Brendan is there, and he makes the catch. That ball was way up there. Trayvon Robinson, left fielder for the Mariners, just recently called up from Tacoma, came in to help out.
I'm trying to remember the right-hand hitter that was Detroit when the big unit threw the no-hitter, that last pitch.
Mike Heath.
Mike Heath, that's it. That thing was up right around his shoulders.
Yep.
And you know what? We could have told Heath try to hit that thing. We throw that thing up there 30 times, you wouldn't hit it.
No. 2 up, 2 down, 1-0 Kansas City, top of the second. Here's first baseman Eric Hosmer. The pitch to him, a strike, 0-1. And by the way, that was Randy's 137th pitch of the game, and it was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Hosmer, high and outside for ball 1-1.
Would you put a pitch count on Randy?
No.
I remember one game he started, I think he threw in the first 2 innings. He had 45, 46 pitches, and he finished the game.
Yeah, he was something. Here's the windup and the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a broken bat, line drive into right field. Coming up, Casper Wells is there, and Casper makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the second. Our score: the Royals 1 and the Mariners 0. So maybe something happened with that dive by Moustakas on the infield base hit. Here's the pitch to Miguel Olivo. Swing and a pop up right side of the infield, and coasting to his right, the first baseman Hosmer still to his right, and he's there and makes the catch in front of the new second baseman Getz. So 1 pitch, 1 out as Olivo pops it up. 1-0 Royals. And here's first baseman Mike Carp.
Kind of wonder that when he dove for that ball that was hit down the line, that didn't do something. He didn't get hurt doing that.
Exactly. Made that diving try. So Moustakas out of the game early. Here's first baseman Mike Carp. Carp batting 186, 5 home runs, 16 runs batted in. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, strike, 0-1. So Chen throwing that curveball, that slow curve, quite a bit early in the ball game. Mariners left 2 on in the first. The windup and the 0-1 on the way. And it's outside. Ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Chen 4 years ago missed the entire season, 2008 year, with Tommy John surgery. Windup and the pitch. Fastball down and away on the outside corner for a strike. And it's 1-2. Originally came up with the Atlanta Braves way back in 1998. The 1-2 pitch. Slow curve and a swing and a miss by Carp for strike 3. And that is strikeout number 1 for Chen. 1-0 Kansas City. Well, the Regal Showdown is taking center stage on the Safeco Field Diamond tomorrow afternoon when King Felix and the Mariners square off against the Royals at 1:10. For $30, you'll sit in the King's Court, plus receive a free T-shirt and K-card. So cheer on the Mariners ace as he takes on the Royals. And get your tickets at mariners.com/Felix. Well, here he is, left fielder Trayvon Robinson, his first at bat of the year with a big club, and the pitch on the way, a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. This is his 2012 debut. Spent time with the Mariners in the second half of last season. Hit .210 with a couple of home runs and 14 runs batted in. Trayvon Robinson out of Los Angeles. Here's the pitch, swung on, little looper into shallow center, going out. The second baseman Getz has it, drops it. Chris Getz just into the ball game. He got there a good 20-30 feet out in shallow straightaway center field, and he drops the ball. So Trayvon Robinson safe at first base on the year by Chris Getz, and the ball will find the new guy, Red.
I tell you what, it's amazing how many times they push you in the game just like that, and you know the ball's going to be hit to you. And that was not a tough play. I mean, he just reached up there and the ball hit him on the heel of the glove.
Easy play, just flat dropped it. So let's see if the Mariners can capitalize. 1-0 Kansas City, bottom of the second. And here's shortstop Brendan Ryan. A toss to first base. Robinson back to the bag. So good to see Trayvon back with the ball club. Here's Ryan. Brendan 2 for 3 last night, having a good series. 3 for 6 in the opening 2 games. Another move to first base. And Robinson back to the bag. Trayvon last year with 10 steals on the season. He had 8 at AAA Albuquerque. Then the trade to the Mariners, 1 at Tacoma, and he had 1 steal last year with the Mariners. There he goes. Good jump pitch on the way of ball, and the ball is dropped by Pena, the catcher. So Trayvon Robinson with his first stolen base of the year with Seattle. And he had a good jump on Chen, and that kind of quickened up the pace for Pena, the catcher. And he lost the ball trying to make the transfer as the count goes to 1-0 on Brendan Ryan.
Yeah, he just couldn't get the ball out of the glove.
So Robinson, tying run, gets himself into scoring position. 2 outs, the 1-0 pitch to Brendan. Change, misses out outside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Robinson coming over from the Dodgers last year. Here's the set and the 2-0 to Ryan. It is a strike at the knees, 2-1. Trayvon coming over along with Chi-Sing Chang from Boston on July 31st after it was a 3-way trade as Trayvon went from the Dodgers to the Red Sox in exchange for Eric Bedard. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball pulled foul on the third base side by the Kansas City dugout, and the count is even on Ryan at 2-2. Brennan, a couple of singles last night. A chance to drive in the tying run of the game. Brennan steps back in, batting .195, 2 home runs, and 25 runs batted in. Here's the stretch and the 2-2 pitch, and it's up and away. Ball 3, full count. So Chen has gone all the way. He's thrown 37 pitches with 2 outs here in the second. Quick look at the Northwest Chevy dealer scoreboard. Final, Detroit in Toronto, and the Blue Jays beat the Tigers today by a score of 5-1. Here's the stretch and the pitch, and a swing and a foul back by Ryan. Still a full count. Rain delay at Yankee Stadium. Boston getting ready to play the Yankees. Another final on this Saturday afternoon in baseball. St. Louis and Chicago. Cubs win 3-2 over the Cards. Chen looks in, gets the sign. Tying run, Robinson on at second base. Now the stretch and the 3-2 pitch, swung on, fouled away on the third base side, right in front of the railing of the Royals third base dugout. And last night's starting pitcher Luis Mendoza had to get out of the way.
You know, it's a good thing they put those screens in front of the dugouts like that, because there are balls that go into that area. They're hit pretty hard.
Robinson again to lead at second base. Brennan Ryan making Chen work. Here's the stretch, and again the 3-2 pitch, swing, and another foul back, and the count is still 3-2. Another off-speed pitch that floats in at 76 miles per hour.
Ryan had an 11-pitch at bat in the game last night. He ended up getting a base hit.
And looking to do the same right here with Robinson aboard in scoring position. 2 outs. Robinson reads safely on the air, swipes second. Chen ready from the belt, and the 3-2 pitch, swung on, ground ball to first, taken by Hosmer. He's got it, goes to the back for the out on Ryan, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on after 2 innings of play. It's the Royals 1 and the Mariners nothing.
Will go out, get a hug, and then Wilson will officially head on over the bench with a wave and a salute to these marvelous fans here in Seattle.
Saturday afternoon in Seattle, and for the play-by-play, here's Ron Fairley.
All right, thank you very much, Rick, and once again, great job you did down there on the ceremonies prior to the ball game here this afternoon. First pitch to Dyson is a bit high and outside, 1 ball and no strike.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you did a good job. And of course, you had some guys to talk about a little bit there, didn't you?
That was pretty easy.
Yep. Here's the 1-0 pitch in the way, and that's in there for a strike to even up the count. Also, really got a kick out of enjoyed Bone being there and Edgar being there and all that stuff. Alvin Davis. Next pitch is a bit high, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. in your mind's eye, you still see them in uniform. You still see their swing and watch the way that they played. Gosh, that was fun. Two balls and one strike. Here's a pitch on the way and a big topper right back to the pitcher Millwood. He has it and goes to first base, and Dyson is out. 1-3 in the putout. That's 5 in a row set down by Millwood. Kansas City on top by a score of 1-0. We go back now to the top of the order, and Alex Gordon, who was called out on strikes his first time up. Gordon looking for his first hit of the series. He is 0 for 8. But overall, he has hit safely in 5 of the last 7 games. Left-hand batter standing in. Draws the bat back, and here's the pitch on the way, and a fastball rides high and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Since moving to that leadoff spot, Gordon has hit extremely well. He's been batting at a .389 clip. 116 home runs, or 116 hits rather. 116 home runs. I'd say that'd be a good year.
Not bad.
Not bad. 116 hits. That's 7th in the league. As the next pitch is high for ball 2. He is 7 for 22 now against Millwood. He's hit a couple of home runs against him. 1-0 in favor of Kansas City. 2-0 pitch in the way, and a fastball rides high, and it's now 3 balls and no strike. For Kevin Millwood, he has appeared in 443 games. This is his 434th start. Here's a pitch on the way, and that is in there for a strike, and it's 3-1. Mariners wearing their home white uniforms. Right now they are shading Gordon slightly around toward left field. Quite a bit of room out in right center. 3-1 pitch is on the way, and it is fouled straight back. Full count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Same 2 teams tomorrow afternoon to close out this 4-game series. Felix Hernandez will be going for the Mariners against Will Smith. Get a chance to see Hernandez work. I'm sure he's going to have the court on hand. Here's the 3-2 pitch in the way. Swung on and popped up into left field. High towering drive. Robinson with the glasses down is under it, makes the catch, and 2 men are gone. Looks like Robinson was trying to get himself in position so that that sun that is peeked through the clouds here was not a factor. 6 in a row now set down by Millwood, and that'll bring up the shortstop Alcides Escobar.
He got to the right spot, then at the last second had to make a quick adjustment to his left, but he was able to stay with it and make the catch.
Seems like every time I see that, it always reminds me of Al Ferrara. One of your favorite stories.
Sparky Anderson.
Sparky Anderson.
God love him.
Escobar bunted his way on the first time up, made a perfect butt down the third baseline. Seager coming in and threw the ball away, but was a perfect bunt. I don't think Seager had a chance to throw him out. There's a fastball that's down low, 1 ball and no strikes. Escobar has hit safely in 10 of the last 12 games. He is 1 for, make that 2 for 9 now in this series. The 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on it, a high fly ball to center field, playable for Saunders, who glides over into left center field, makes the catch, and side retired after 2.5. Royals on top 1-0. Well, you can follow the Mariners with MajorLeague.com at @BAT12 app on your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Mariners.com for details. First pitch to Ackley is in there for a called strike one. Kansas City on top by a score of 1-0. Next pitch, a breaking ball misses. That evens up the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ackley tapped right back to the pitcher his first time up. He is 4 for 8 so far in this series with a couple of runs scored. Next pitch swung on, hit off the end of the bat, popped up in foul territory near the photographer's well down there, and moving over is Yuniesky Betancourt, and he makes the play.
Red Bruce Chen is relying on that slow curveball. This is a lot of left-handed hitters in this lineup. What are the challenges this afternoon for a left-handed hitter to try to go get that slow curve?
Well, you know, he's throwing more. His curveball is a lot slower than I remember him throwing, and that probably had something to do with the surgery that he had. But so far, it's been very, very effective. The curveballs that he's thrown, a lot of the left-hand hitters have been either on the outside corner or they have been outside. Here's the pitch in a check swing by Casper Wells, and the count is 0-1. Once again, looked like a changeup or something. But he's going with a lot of soft stuff. Chen winds. Here's the pitch in the way, and it swung on and hit foul off of beyond the Mariners dugout. The count is 0-2.
You were a left-handed hitter. What did you do? Move up in the box a little bit to try to get to that breaking ball?
Well, yeah, I stood pretty much on top of the plate to begin with. I did not like standing deep in the batter's box. That breaking ball, the deeper you get in the batter's box, the further away that breaking ball is to you. When it gets to the strike zone, there's a curveball that misses high and inside. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Casper Wells batting .247. Half a dozen home runs, 25 runs driven in. Comes into the game 3 for 12 with a home run against Chen. Here's the next pitch swung on, and a line drive. May have been a broken bat single over the head of the third baseman Betancourt. So a 1-out single. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network. Working its way through the bunch of white fluffy clouds overhead here this afternoon. As there's the pitch that is swung on, and that breaking ball you were just talking about, Rick, that was away from Saunders, and he went after it. 0-1.
You staying with that pitch?
Staying with it. Doing a lot of that soft stuff up there to the left-hand batters. Saunders, a .282 hitter against left-handed pitching this year. Next pitch, swing and a miss, and a fastball right in on the hands. Boy, I tell you what, that's exactly the way you want to pitch a lot of guys. Hard stuff right in on the hands, right there at the belt area. Or that breaking ball down low and away. Hard in, soft away. Pitch the whole world like that. Chen comes set, the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball just outside as he go around on a hold-up swing that time by Saunders. And third base umpire Doug Eddings said no, he did not go around. So the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Said the Mariners wearing their home white uniforms. Kansas City wearing their gray traveling pants with that royal blue top. Chen again ready. And the left-hander's next pitch swung on and popped up off of third base. That's going to get back into the crowd. So the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. For Chen, this is his 22nd start of the year. Coming into the game, he's worked 114 innings. He's allowed 129 hits. He's given up 72 runs. He has walked 27, and he has struck out 86. He has very good control. Does not walk very many batters. Next pitch, that slow curveball swung on and missed, and down goes Saunders. Strikeout number 2 recorded. 2 men are out here in the third inning. 1-0. Kansas City.
Just got word from the Kansas City clubhouse on the injury to third baseman Mike Moustakas, a right knee sprain, diving for that ball in the bottom of the first inning on that base hit by Casper Wells. So he's day-to-day is going to be reevaluated tomorrow.
We had to do it on that play there at third base, right?
Yep.
Here is Montero. The first pitch is a high towering drive to left field. Gordon going back. He looks up. See you later. A two-run homer by Jesus Montero, and he continues to wear out Kansas City pitching. And the Mariners lead it by a score of 2-1.
My goodness, Jesus has had the Royals number. He was 12 for 20 coming into the ball game, and now added 2 for 2 this afternoon. 14 for his last 22 against Kansas City pitching. His 10th home run of the year. RBI's number 39 and 40, and the Mariners have a 2-1 lead over the Royals here in the bottom half of the third, and Montero red hot against Kansas City.
Wow. I mean, he is hot. 14 for 22 against Kansas City pitching this year. And that'll bring up the third baseman Kyle Seager, and the first pitch is down low and outside, ball one. Well, that home run by Montero, Alaska Airlines just donated another 10,000 miles to our local Make-A-Wish Foundation to provide wish travel for some amazing kids. So far this season, Alaska Airlines has donated a total of 750,000 miles. Boy, thanks to Alaska Airlines. Next pitch is outside, ball two. 2 balls and no strikes to Cal Seager. And the next pitch on the way is a breaking ball. This one catches the outside corner. Chen has good command of that breaking ball this afternoon. And that pitch to Montero was hit about as high as it was far. Chen winds the 2-1 pitch on the way. And a breaking ball in there for a called strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Seager, a .222 hitter against left-handed pitching this year with 3 home runs and 19 runs driven in. 2-2 pitch from Chen is swung on and popped up into shallow left field. Coming in is the left fielder Gordon, shading his eyes, looking up, can't make the play, gets up to the sun, the ball drops behind him, and down to second base goes Seager. Well, he mentioned that that last inning that Robinson was getting in position to field some fly balls, and now that the sun is out and the outfield in bright sunshine, that becomes a factor.
Yeah, it's a sun double. This one popped up in the air to left field. Gordon was going to his right, angling to his right to try to get a lower angle. He was starting to drop down and still couldn't get that ball out of the sun. Tough play. And Seager winds up with a sun double.
I'm surprised they don't use the glove a little bit instead of just the sunglasses. Put the glove up there, kind of block the sun out and let the ball come out to the side.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, here's Miguel Olivo, and the first pitch to Miguel is in there for a strike. Olivo popped up to the first baseman, his only time up. Mariners on top now by a score of 2-1. As we go here in the bottom of the third inning. Chance to add one more run here in the inning. And the pitch to Olivo. It is swung on. Ground ball between first and second. On into right field. Around third is Seager. The throw to the plate is not in time. Tagged the bag as he slid by home plate. An accurate throw by Francoeur. And Pena, the catcher, tried to make a sweeping tag, with Seager sliding to the side of the home plate, reached out, tagged home plate, and the Mariners lead it 3-1.
What a great slide right there by Kyle Seager to avoid the tag of the catcher Brian Pena. The guy out in right field, Francoeur, Jeff Francoeur, has 12 outfield assists, and since 2005 nobody has any more assists than that guy in right field. This throw on line, Pena got to the ball, the catcher, but Kyle Seager going to the backside of the plate, avoiding the swipe tag of Pena, getting that left hand in there. What a slide. Big base hit by Miguel Olivo. 3-1 Mariners.
And the home plate umpire Jordan Baker was in great position to make that call. Here is instead a pitch to the plate, a toss to first base, and Olivo is back. Mike Karp standing in, struck out his only time up. 3 runs on 6 hits and error for the Mariners. 1 run on 2 hits and error for Kansas City. And based on what we have seen here lately, the sun will be a factor. Here's a swing and a miss. At a pitch, and the count is 0-1 to Mike Carp. Left field will be a factor early in this game, and then later on it kind of moves out a little bit towards right field. Count of 0-1. Here's the pitch on the way, and the breaking ball slider outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. For the Mariners, as Rick has pointed out, in the 6 games played, and of course we still have left a lot of innings to be played in this game, but in the 6 games against Kansas City, Mariners have scored 41 runs against them. Next pitch, a fastball, and that's over the plate but low. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike.
And Red, they've come in bunches too. They've done such a good job of scoring early in games, first and second innings, but now they get their 3 runs here in the bottom half of the 3rd.
Keep them coming. Chen comes set. The 2-1 pitch on the way from the left-hander is fouled at home plate. And the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mike Carp. When you look at the numbers of pitchers, first time through the lineup, they're pretty good. Second time through the lineup, they're pretty good. Maybe not quite as good. It's that 3rd time through the lineup that the numbers really, the batting averages really jump up. Next pitch is a fastball down the middle of the plate, strike 3, and down goes Carp. But not before the Mariners come up with 3 runs on 4 hits in the inning. A 2-run homer by Montero, his 10th of the year, and after 3 complete, Mariners leading 3-1. Well, what an afternoon it is. It's a gorgeous afternoon. The sun is out. Temperature at game time 64 degrees. A beautiful day for baseball. Let's go to the 4th inning. And once again, here's Rick Ribbs.
All right, Brett, thank you very much. A 3-1 Mariner lead, and we have one of the honorees today. Randy Johnson and Dan Wilson inducted into the Mariners Hall of Fame. We have Dan the Man with us. Dan also joins us on our radio broadcast throughout the year. Here's Chris Getz to lead things off. Kevin Millwood delivers up high for ball 1. And Danny, I couldn't have been more proud of you this afternoon. Great speech, talking about what it was like to become the 6th member of the Mariners Hall of Fame. That had to be a great thrill this afternoon. The windup and the 1-0 pitch to Getz is a strike, and the count is even 1-1. How does it feel to be a member of that exclusive club? Next offer outside to move to Getz. Ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. And of course, your dad is the man, really the man. It's great to have your family here, and Annie and the kids. Your mom and dad from Chicago made the trip. But the other guy that was so glad that he made it for you. 2-1 pitch, swung on, popped up, foul in behind the bag at third. Seager shading his eyes, coming over to help is Ryan, but Kyle is there, and he makes the catch, and there's one away for the Royals here in the 4th. Mariners lead 3-1. Visiting with Dan Wilson was Lee Ely. He meant so much to you. Well, you're like family to us. And you've been up here in the broadcast booth so much now working with us this year. Here's Billy Butler with a swing and a pop-up on a play behind the plate 0-1. I think Kevin Kremen should hand you something to read here, a commercial, a drop-in, a promo, something, right? You can read it if you want. The Alaska. Okay. No, I want you to enjoy this afternoon because this is your day going in with Randy. Here's the windup and the 0-1 pitch on the way. Strike on the outside corner, 0-2 on Butler. What was it like? Catching Randy Johnson? I know you've been asked a million times. Next pitch, the Butler is outside. Ball 1-1-2. Folks, that's Danny's radio experience right there, getting that pitch in. Yeah.
Just the way he could dominate a game, dominate a lineup. I mentioned this yesterday. He could affect a lineup before he even showed up at the ballpark. Yeah. He was penciled in, and the manager had to change the lineup completely around, put in all right-handed hitters.
Next offer is outside, 2-2 on Butler.
And so the way he changed the game during his prime was amazing. And then, of course, he went on from here to do so much in baseball. But it was just a great thrill of mine to be able to catch him for so many years. And
there's a swing and a line drive into right field coming up his Wells, and he has to play it on a hop down on both knees. Casper had to make that stop. Butler is single the other way, so he's on at first with one out. Mariners lead 3-1 here in the top of the fourth, visiting with the newest member of the Mariners Hall of Fame, Dan Wilson.
And just getting a chance to watch Mr. Snappy in action.
How about that?
Good pitch.
Would guys go back to the dugout? I saw in the one video where a guy actually curtsied.
That was
back to Randy.
That was Rex Hugler, who's actually like next door doing the radio or TV for Kansas City, and that's right. I mean, there's no better compliment than if a hitter walks away from the plate and actually tips his cap to the hitter or to the pitcher.
I've never seen a curtsy though.
No,
that's an all-time first.
Dan,
here is Betancourt with a swing and a foul back 0-1.
Excuse me, Rick.
No,
Dan, I wanted to ask you. Did you ever have any of the hitters, the opposing hitters, say anything while they're up there?
Absolutely, especially early in the game. We talked about this a little yesterday, but early in a ball game, you could tell if Randy was going to be on, and every guy would get up there that first time, and he'd kind of tap home plate and say, "Does Randy have it today? I just got to know." And most of the time he did, and man, he could just bury guys. And the way he pitched, throwing that fastball inside a lot of the time, throwing that slider inside. He was a tough at bat for a right-hander. Your classic power pitcher. Let's just go at him and strike these guys out.
Isn't he with Danny Wilson? 1-1 the count on Betancourt. Here's the stretch and the pitch. The uni swung on, popped up near the bag at third base. Seager over, shading his eyes with his glove. Foul ground. He's there near the coach's box, and he makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Danny, out of all your years in Seattle, is it possible to pick out a moment or two that stands out right now? I know that there's a flood of memories for you.
Yeah, I as we watched the video today and just seeing that moment, where we clinched the one-game playoff, the victory there, the strikeout to Salmon and running out to the mound. I mean, it's the greatest thrill for me as a player. The first time we were able to make it to the playoffs as a ball club, and all the team effort that went into that moment, and 162 games down to one game. One game.
Winner take all.
Winner takes all. Winner goes to the playoffs. The loser goes home. And wow, I mean, it was just a great feeling of relief and excitement that we were able to win that ball game.
Brian Pena takes a look at ball one. 1 on 2 outs, top of the fourth. 3-1 Mariners visiting with Dan Wilson. And I was amazed that here's the pitch on the way outside, ball 2-0, that you jumped into Randy's arm and grasp like that. I thought it was just a beautiful moment in Mariner history.
It is, and we've heard Dave call his account of that. It's just amazing, and gosh, what a great moment it was in Mariner history.
Dan, I got to ask you, Randy had the best fastball in the league, best Mr. Snappy, best slider. Was there any doubt with numbers to put down there, either a 1 or the 2? I mean, it's going to be the best in the league.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, when you had the stuff he did, it didn't matter which one.
Yeah, which one do you put down there?
He had the best fastball. Not many people threw 95 in 1995. I mean, he was throwing 95 miles an hour. He's 6'10". He's got the mullet. He's stepping to home plate. He's 6'10". I mean, the guy had everything going for him and had the best fastball in the league, and he used it. He challenged guys all the time.
Here's the 3-0 pitch. The Pena takes a strike, and the count is 3-1. You told a funny story the other day. You called timeout, went out to the mound, and Randy's got that big mullet going, and the hair's in his face. I got a problem. My hair gets in my face all the time.
I could tell something was wrong with him. He was just kind of giving me the grimace face, and I went out there. I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "Well, every time I pitch, I follow through, and the hair kind of whips me in the eye." I said, "Get a haircut.
Get a haircut.
That's all we got to do." Huh? I bet you Rick's got some scissors. We can go cut it off between innings.
Right now, I'd be down there in the heartbeat. There's a pitch high and outside to Pena, ball 4, so he walks, and the Royals have runners at first and second. Would have been happy to do it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's like a scene from Bull Durham.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what's going on here. But, I mean, he was something. And the amazing stat that we saw yesterday, you and Randy had a winning percentage of .721 together. You with Randy. Here's Jeff Francoeur. The Royals have runners on at first and second with 2 outs. Tying run at first. The stretch and the pitch by Millwood is high and outside, ball 1.
Yeah, I think what was sort of apparent to me yesterday, that's one of the things I'd kind of forgotten about as you come out of the game, but the intensity that he pitched with, you could just see the emotion in his face, and he was out there screaming and yelling and pumping his fists and pumping his chest, and gosh, that was just such a great feeling to play behind that, because you knew he was so locked into that game and competitive, and that's what made him so much fun to play for.
Now the 1-0 pitch on the way to Francoeur is in there for a strike, and the count is even at 1-1.
Dan, was there a hitter or hitters that you didn't like coming up to the plate? I mean, there were some guys that just you had a rough time getting them out.
Yeah, Tony Phillips was a guy who played for Detroit at the time. We just couldn't get him out, and he gave Randy a good at bat. Obviously, a guy who could steal a base too. So there were guys like that. He had history with Kenny Lofton, Cleveland. Those guys kind of went back and forth, a little bit of beanballs, up and ins, but for the most part, he dominated everybody. But there were a few guys that were tough to get out.
1-2 the count on Francoeur. Kevin Millwood trying to get out of a jam. Here's the pitch on the way. Francoeur takes down and away. Ball 2. 2-2 the count on Jeff Francoeur, who is 0 for 1. He's popped up to Ryan at short. Visiting with Dan the Man Wilson. Congratulations to Danny, the newest member of the Mariners Hall of Fame, along with his battery mate pitcher Randy Johnson. Great ceremony this afternoon. It's nice to have Danny and his family, wife, kids, mom and dad from Chicago here. Here's the set and the 2-2 on the way, and it's a little bit high. Ball 3-1. Danny, how did you survive all those years behind home plate? You still look like you can still play. The foul balls, the foul tips, the collisions at home plate.
That's the stuff you love, Rick.
You got to love it.
That's what you wake up for. That's what you put a uniform on for. Get beat up. That's what you love.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's the 3-2. Runners go. Swinging a 2-hopper to short. Charging Ryan. He's got it on the run. The throw to first. In time to get Francoeur, and that will retire the side as Millwood gets out of trouble. Danny, great to see you here this afternoon. Thanks for coming by on a busy day and a great day. Welcome to the Mariners Hall of Fame.
Rick, as you know, it's always a pleasure to be up here with you.
So. Love you, buddy. Congratulations.
You.
Dan Wilson, the man. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Mariners lead Kansas City
And the first pitch from Banks is well. There it goes! See you later! Upper deck! Griffey has tied the Major League record! Holy cow, the kid has done it! Home runs in 8 consecutive games!
Robinson will lead things off. Say friends enter the Alaska Airlines double play getaway where the Mariners turn a double play in the fourth. One fan will win 2 round-trip tickets on Alaska Airlines. Be a lucky winner like Sue from Kenmore. Here's the pitch. The Robinson turns the bunt and he tries to pull the bat back from a high pitch and he fouls it away and the count is 0-1. So be like Sue from Kenmore or Sam from Lake Forest Park. Enter now by texting the word Mariners to 44227. So 0-1 the count on Robinson. Here's the windup by Chen, and the next offer swung on. Fly ball into the gap in left center field, down for a hit. Robinson, the quick turn at first. Up with the ball as Dyson gets the throw into second base. Hey, welcome back. Trayvon Robinson, his first base hit of the year in the big leagues. This season, he was up with the ball club last year. So Trayvon Robinson with a leadoff single here in the bottom half of the fourth. Last time aboard, he reached safely on an air by the second baseman Getz, and then he stole second. 3-1 Mariners, and here is Brendan Ryan. Brendan had a long at bat against Chen in the second. Here's the stretch and the pitch to Brendan. Takes a slow curve, low and inside, ball 1.
Good chance you can see hit and run here. You have a guy up there at the plate can spray the ball around. You have some speed over there at first base.
A lot of room on the right side of the infield, Red. Not a bad idea. So now Ryan steps away from home plate. A long look down at third base coach Jeff Datz. And let's see if that's what Eric Wedge has in mind. Robinson a lead. Here's the stretch and a move to first base to get Trayvon back to the bag. Kansas City a run in the first, and the Mariners get all 3 of their runs in the bottom half of the third. 2-run home run by Jesus Montero has just been tearing up Kansas City. Then Seager with a Sun double scored on a base hit to right by Miguel Olivo. Keep your eyes on Robinson. Here's the pitch outside as Ryan shortens up the bunt and he takes it. Ball 2, 2 balls to no strikes. Chen, his 22nd start of the year. Bruce from Panama City, Panama. Taking some time, looks in, gets a sign from Pena. Here's the stretch and another move to first base as Robinson gets back again. Well, Chen's fastball at 89, Millwood's fastball at 92 this afternoon. That's our speed pitch brought to you by Frontier Communications. Speaking of speed, get 100% dedicated fiber optic Fios high-speed internet from Frontier for only $39.99 per month. Go to frontierwa.com for details. Next pitch misses, down and away, ball 3. 3-0 on Ryan. 3-1 Mariners lead. They have out-hit the Royals 7-3. Here's the stretch and the 3-0 pitch, and it's up and away, ball 4. So Ryan with a walk, and that's his 34th walk of the season, and that matches his entire total from last year. So 34 walks for Brendan Ryan. He's on at first. Robinson down the way at second. Nobody out, and here is Dustin Ackley. Ackley swinging a good bat in this series, 4 for 7 in the first 2 ball games. And now the catcher Pena goes out to have a talk with Chen as they change up the signs with Robinson on at second. Gets the second baseman also comes in to find out what the new signs are. So here's Ackley. Dustin is 0 for 2 on the day. He's bounced back to Chen. And he's also popped up to Betancourt at third base near the camera well. Chen taking a lot of time.
Let's see what Eric Wedge has in mind here with Ackley up there. Nobody out, runners at first and second.
Close to third, Betancourt. Ackley turns the bunt and he fouls it away behind the plate. And some hang time to it, and the count is 0-1. Dustin trying to get that bunt sacrifice on the third base line to bring in Betancourt to field it and pave the way for Robinson to get to third.
How often has Ackley in his career been asked to bunt? I don't think very often.
Well, he's going to try to get a sacrifice down right here. Here's the stretch, turns the bunt and pops it up in the air behind home plate. And off the screen behind the plate it goes, and the count is 0-2 on Ackley. So unsuccessful on the 2 attempts, and now he's going to have to swing away. Can't get the bunt down.
Doesn't look like he is, the way he's going about bunting, but he's done it a great deal.
Got underneath both attempts and popped them up. Runners get their leads, and the 0-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball to the right side, gets off to his left. He's got it over to second. They get the force there on Brendan Ryan, and on the play Robinson will get to third, and Ackley is safe at first base on a 4-6 fielder's choice. Not hit hard enough to try to turn the double play. So Ackley with a fielder's choice. 1 out and 2 on. Mariners lead 3-1 over the Royals, bottom half of the 4th. And here's right fielder Casper Wells. You got to do the little things. Here is Wells. Casper is 2 for 2 with a couple of singles and a run scored.
You know, it's amazing during the course of the season of being able to do the little things like bunt the runners along. What effect that has as to how many games you win during the course of the season.
There's the pitch on the way. Slow curve and a swing and a miss by Wells, and the count is 0-1.
Sometimes that
they add up.
Yeah, they completely change the outcome of games.
The situation that Wedge wanted was runners in scoring position at second and third with 1 out. Here is the 0-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a foul, backing out of play on the first base side, and the count is 0-2. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network. Oh, and 2 the count on Wells. Runners at first and third, 1 out, bottom of the 4th. The pitch to Casper up high with a fastball from Chen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But now the Royals defense has a chance for the double play. Ackley at first. Robinson will lead at third. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Ground ball to short. Up with the ball. Escobar over to second. 1 gets his relay to first, and it's in time. And there's the double play that gets the Royals out of the inning. They get Ackley at second, and they doubled up Wells at first base. Side retired, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on after 4 innings of play. Mariners 3, Kansas City 1. Kevin Millwood ready, fires away, swing and a foul back and out of play, and the count is 0-1.
You know, I like the way he swings the bat. This Hosmer turns that bat loose.
Yeah.
He's very aggressive up there at the plate.
Lets it fly. Great bat speed. And the 0-1 pitch to Hosmer is inside with a fastball, ball one, 1 ball and 1 strike. My son Nicky's here at the ballpark today. See, he made a visit to the Mariners team store. Nice sweatshirt. Good sharp, buddy. And the 1-1 pitch, swinging a foul back by Hosmer. And the count 1-2. Grandkids are here, Jackson and Braden.
Sure, it's the weekend, day game. They should be here.
Yeah. Good to see the boys. Here's the windup and the 1-2 to Hosmer. Reaches out, sends a pop up down the left field line, shallow on the run. Robinson and Seager can't get to it. It's in the crowd. On a play, and the count is still 1-2 on Eric Hosmer. Hey. Randy Johnson just showed up, the big unit. Great to have him here. Congratulations, Randy. Thanks for stopping by. What an afternoon for you and Dan Wilson, being inducted into the Mariners Hall of Fame along with Alvin Davis and Dave Niehaus and Edgar Martinez and Jay Buhner. The windup and the 1-2 to Hosmer. Swinging a foul out of play, and it's still 1-2.
Well, and the sun has come out today.
Yeah.
So what more could you ask for in Seattle?
No, you and the sun and
Holy cow.
Dan Wilson. But congratulations. How does it make you feel to be a member of this elite club?
I had goosebumps, to be honest with you. I could still be out there talking as we started this whole ceremony earlier this afternoon before the game. I could still be out there talking. There's that many memories and there's that much emotion that I have attached to this city. And I obviously have got a game today. I can't touch on all the moments, but I hope I did, and I hope I thanked everybody that needed to be thanked. And obviously there's a long list, but great time here today.
You did a great job. The 2-2 pitch, and it just misses on Hosmer for ball 3-2. I got to ask you a quick question, if it's possible. When did Randy Johnson become Randy Johnson?
Well, I think that happened here, and all the more reason why there's such a passion for Seattle in my career. When I first got here, I was rough around the edges, if you recall, throwing the ball to the backstop, and
swinging a pop-up behind home plate, still 3-2.
And a lot of inconsistency. Yeah. In '93 is when I won my first breakout year, I guess you could say, statistically. Won 18 games or 19 games. Well, prior to that, it was like I was about a 500 pitcher. So I would say that was my real big breakout year in '93. From that point on, '94, there was a shortened strike year. '95, we did what we did. Team-wise and individually-wise.
Next offer, swing and a line drive backhanded at first by Mike Karp. What a play by Karp. Hosmer smoked one down there, and Karp makes a fine play, one away, visiting with Randy Johnson.
So there was really a 3-year window there where I was really rough around the edges and just trying to polish those tools and be consistent. With the help of outside help and coaching staff here as well.
Yeah.
The most influential and biggest impact I had was talking to Nolan Ryan. It was a very simple and short conversation, but took it to heart. It was a mechanical conversation, and about my stride and how I landed out there. A lot of work had to go into that, and
it paid off. It all happened.
The fans saw, like I said, the rough Randy Johnson, and in about '93 they really saw
the future Hall of Famer.
Well, the one that ended his career. That's kind of from that point on, I really kind of really got things together as a pitcher out there.
Here's Jared Dyson with a swing, little looper into shallow left field, going out. Brendan Ryan to make the catch on the run. Ryan robbing Dyson of a base hit. A shallow fly ball into left down toward the line, and Brendan Ryan hustling back to make the catch. Holy smokes, what a play. 2 outs for the Royals here in the top of the 5th inning. Visiting with Randy Johnson. So 2 down, and here is Alex Gordon. Randy, and then 1995 was just amazing for everybody here. You guys, just saved baseball here in the Northwest. Coming out of the bullpen in relief, what were you thinking when you came out of the bullpen against
Well, obviously, I wasn't thinking if I had offered to do that. I mean, I pitched the day before, but obviously simply an adrenaline rush. And I hope the fans took to heart what I had stated today, was how important fans can be. Yeah. Pitching Game 4 and then going out to the bullpen and coming out to pitch in Game 5, you pitch solely on adrenaline. And I know that now firsthand because I did then, and I did it once in Game 6 and Game 7 after up in Arizona. But when the fans get into it, they cheer and they give you inspiration and adrenaline. That's why fans can be a big impact. And there was lots of moments like that when I would walk down the bullpen. Also, something I should have touched on was.
Here's a pitch inside on Gordon, 1-1 the count on the Royals left fielder.
A lot of times across the street in the Kingdom, when I had a hitter 0-2 or 2-2 in a situation to strike out, the fans were always standing and cheering.
Oh, man, on their feet the whole time.
So, fans, especially here in Seattle, had a huge impact on my success. And, I'm truly and will always be thankful. And like I said, sincerely, this is my home away from home. My wife had 3 of our children here, met my wife here, got married here, even got a cheap cup of Starbucks back when it first, I think it was like 75 cents back in 1991.
Here's a swing and a ground ball to the second baseman, Ackley. He's got a little toss to first, and it's in time to get Gordon, and that will retire the side. Randy, it's almost impossible to talk about the great moments because you had so many. Thank you for coming by, joining us on the radio, and congratulations on being one of the newest members of the Mariners Hall of Fame. Great to see you, pal. Best of luck.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me and my family up here. I feel very honored and privileged to be amongst the players that are in the Hall of Fame and just be friends with them as well and have played with them here.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Rick.
Good luck. Randy Johnson, special guest. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Our score, Mariners 3, Kansas City 1. Center fielder Michael Saunders leading off the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch by Chen. A swing and a pop up into shallow left field. Coming in, Alex Gordon is there, and Gordon makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out for the Mariners here in the 5th. Mariners lead by a score of 3-1 over Kansas City. Here's Jesus Montero swinging, pops one up into right field. Going back of the ball, Jeff Rancourt to his left a few steps. He's there and makes the catch. 2 pitches and 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Time for the Farmers Friendly Review. See how your highly trained local farmers agent can save you money. Call 1-800-FARMERS or visit farmers.com. We are insurance. We are farmers. I'm going to review what happened before the ball game. Randy Johnson and Dan Wilson inducted into the Mariners Hall of Fame. Couldn't be happier for these two battery mates for 10 years, and they had a .721 winning percentage as battery mates. That is unbelievable. Here's third baseman Kyle Seager. By the way, the Mariners got their 3 runs in the 3rd inning, 2-run home run by Jesus Montero and an RBI single by Miguel Olivo. Here's the pitch to Kyle. A curve is a strike on the outside corner. The count is 0-1. Great to see Randy Johnson. Congratulations to Randy. And by the way, in about 3 years from now, he's going to go into the big Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. No doubt about it. Here's the pitch, and it's a strike on the outside corner, and the count is 0-2 on Seager. Let's take a vote up here in the booth. Randy Johnson, Baseball Hall of Fame.
That's
Evan
a no-brainer.
Yes.
That's a no-brainer.
Shannon, yes. Gary Hill, yes. Ron Fairley, yes. Pitch on the way, high and inside, ball 1. It is a no-brainer. 304 wins. The most dominant pitcher in the game of baseball.
4,800 strikeouts.
How about that? 2,162 in a Mariner uniform. The strikeouts.
Wait a minute. I take it back. Almost 4,900. 4,875.
Here's a swing and a line drive to the shortstop Escobar. Seager lines out, and that'll end the inning. We go to the top half of the 6th. Our score here at Safeco Field: Mariners 3, Kansas City 1. Special day inducted into the Mariners Hall of Fame today here at Safeco Field. We go to the 6th, and for the play-by-play, here's my buddy Ron Fairley.
All right, thank you very much, Rick. And you know what? I think back on all the years that have been around baseball, I think the most fun that I've had has not necessarily been during the game. There's the first pitch to Escobar, and it's outside for ball 1. It's when the game is over, and you talk about the game in the clubhouse with guys like Dan and the big unit and Bone and all. That was a lot of fun. Next pitch is fouled back out of play, and the count is even, a 1-ball, 1-strike. I still remember the story about Booney. I walked in the clubhouse one night, and Booney points at me. He says, come here, I want to talk to you. So I walked over, and he says to me, did you tell the fans how good I was tonight? And I said, yeah. And he said, well, keep that up. So
as long as you do.
Yeah, so long as you do. So the next pitch is, check swing. Does he go around? No, says the first base umpire. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. About 4 or 5 days later, I go in the clubhouse, and he points at me. He says, come on over here. I want to talk to you. Here's the next pitch on the way, and a fastball is high, and it's now 3 balls and 1 strike. He said, did you tell him how lousy I was tonight? I said, yeah. He said, what'd you do that for? You're supposed to tell.
This is my job.
Yeah, you know. I love Booney. They go in the clubhouse and talk to the guys after the ball game. 3-1 pitching away, and a fastball is on the inside corner. And it's a full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. But you know, those moments like that where you can just kind of relax a little bit and talk about the game and say, you know, what were you thinking of? Why did you look for that pitch? And Edgar was good at that. Here's the next pitch on the way, and it's hit high in the air into right center field. And with the speed of Saunders, yeah, he's going to run it down. Easy play for him, Michael. And that's out number 1 here in the inning. So 1 man is gone, and that'll bring up Chris Getz, the second baseman.
Yeah, not only was it fun, Red, but it's just, you just mentioned it was informative. I mean, right there, they went over their own scouting reports on how those pitchers pitched to those guys, you know, that night. How they pitched to you.
Yeah. And then you turn around and you say, you know, the last time I faced him, he did this, but tonight he pitched me a little bit different. Here's Chris Getz, left-handed batter standing in, and the first pitch to him is right around the knees for a strike, and it's 0-1. Mariners on top by a score of 3-1. We're talking baseball today this afternoon, folks.
I like that.
Yeah. And had a chance to have Dan Wilson and the big unit here in the booth. Next pitch is hit foul off of third base and well back in the crowd, 0-2.
Did you notice on the video with Dan Wilson when he hit that home run, he had the Booney bat flip before Booney did. He flipped his bat.
That was in Detroit where he hit the 2 home runs?
Yeah, when he hit a home run, he had that flip. I mean, everybody remembers Brett Boone's bat flip.
Booney. Here's the 0-2 pitch in the way. Swung on and raked to the first baseman. Karp has it, underhands to Millwood covering, and that takes care of Getz. 3-1 on the putout. 2 men are gone. And that'll bring up Billy Butler, the designated hitter. And boy, he's having another good afternoon. Having a great series. He has 6 hits in this series with a couple of runs batted in. And is 2 for 2 here this afternoon. Has driven in the Kansas City's only run. It is 3-1 in favor of the Mariners. But that's, you know, a lot of times, especially on road games, you know, when you're at home, I mean, a lot of guys got to go home to their family.
Yeah, right.
But on road games where you play an afternoon ball game and you sit around the clubhouse and you talk about the game and what have you, and next thing you know, you might be in the clubhouse 2 or 3 hours after the ball game and you're still talking about the game. Here's the first pitch down low and outside. Ball 1 to Butler. 1 ball, no strikes. You talk about, you know, God, that was an interesting play tonight. You know, we kind of screwed that rundown play up. How do you think we should do it? Yeah. Here's the next pitch, and that's in there for a strike. And so guys will get into arguments of how that should be done. I remember one time the pitchers and the infielders got into an argument about how to do the pickoff at second base. Here's the 1-1 pitch in the way. Swung on, and there's another base hit by Butler. A base hit into right center field. This guy can hit. He's fun to watch. Wow. 3 for 3 for Billy Butler. 2-out single here in the 6th inning. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Yuniesky Betancourt. But they were talking about the timing of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, how do you do the timing of it? There are a lot of pitchers like to do it with the head. When you can see the back of the head twice is when you go. And then they would turn and throw the ball to second base. They were just different ways of doing it. But they had some interesting conversations about it. Mariners on top 3-1 as we go here in the 6th inning. Butler over at first base. Yuniesky Betancourt standing in. He's 0 for 2. Called out on strikes in the 1st inning. And then popped up to third base in the 4th inning. And the first pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Take a look at the rest of the homestand for the Mariners. You have the same 2 teams here tomorrow. You have Felix Hernandez going against Will Smith. That'll close out this Kansas City series. But then we got the Toronto Blue Jays coming in. Here's the pitch, swung on, a ground ball in the hole, backhanded by Ryan. Long throw across the diamond, and it's in time. What a play by Ryan, going deep in the hole, leaping into the air, and throwing a strike to first base to get Betancourt inside retired after 5.5. Mariners on top, 3-1. Well, Ryan out there at shortstop this afternoon has made two outstanding plays. Made a great catch on a pop-up into shallow left field, and then to close out the top half of the inning, went deep into the hole at shortstop, backhanded the ball, leaped in the air and threw a one-hop strike over to first base. A good play by Karp, and that took care of Betancourt. And we go to the Mariner half of the sixth inning, and the first pitch to Olivo is a breaking ball in there for a called strike one. Mariners leading by a score of 3-1 as we go here in the sixth inning. Pitch on the way, and Olivo takes another breaking ball for a strike, and the count is 0-2.
That play by Brendan Ryan was as good as it gets. I mean, way back to his right, shallow left field, spins in the air and gets the one-hop strike to Karp in time. What a play.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, and a fastball rides high and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Olivo. You know, when he caught the ball, and first of all, he was on the outfield grass, and then by the time he planted the foot and leaped in the air, he was 10, 12 feet on the outfield grass.
He was way back there. And to get that much on the throw while his feet were off the ground.
Well, he has a strong arm. I mean, that's just nothing but arm strength. Here's the 1-2 pitch from the left-hander Chen, and it's a fastball high and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3 runs, 7 hits in air for the Mariners. 1 run and 4 hits, and 1 error for the Kansas City Royals. Mariners have won the first 2 games of this series. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and down goes Olivo. That is strikeout number 4 for Chen, and 1 man gone, and that'll bring up Mike Karp. Well, kids, you think you're as quick as Dustin Ackley? Well, you can come test your speed following tomorrow afternoon's 1:10 starting time against Kansas City Royals, when all the youngsters are invited on the field to run around the bases thanks to KeyBank. So join us for this great family event at Safeco Field when you get your tickets at Mariners.com. There's a ground ball. Well, is that a ground ball, or did he catch the ball? I believe he caught it, soft liner to the shortstop, Escobar, and that takes care of Karp.
And took a look at the second base umpire, Dana DeMuth, who made that call. He was able to catch it right around his shoestrings as he came in. 2 outs.
A little tough to tell whether he caught that on the short hop or whether it was in the glove, but obviously the umpire said he caught it while it was still in the air. So 2 men are out, and that'll bring out Trayvon Robinson, who is 1 for 2. He was on via an error in the second inning, and then got his first hit of the year. A base hit his last time up, out into left center field. The first pitch to him is in there for a strike. Switch hitter, batting right-handed. Here's the next pitch, curveball. That's in there, called strike 2. A good crowd here this afternoon. Beautiful day for baseball. It's always great to come to the ballpark and have a crowd like this. Makes it that much better. The 0-2 pitch is inside, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 32,111 here this afternoon. Chen winds. Here's the 1-2 pitch in the way. Swung on and fouled right there at home plate, so the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Remember Trayvon Robinson, who came over from the Dodger organization last year, spent some time with the Mariners, playing in 44 games last year, where he batted .210. Couple of home runs, 14 runs driven in. Next pitch, off-speed pitch, swung on a miss, strike 3, and down he goes. 3 up, 3 down. We played 6. Mariners on top, 3-1. Well, we go to the top half of the 7th inning for the Kansas City Royals. It will be Brian Pena, followed by Jeff Francoeur, and then Eric Hosmer for the Kansas City Royals. Mariners on top by a score of 3-1. And back to the mound is Kevin Millwood. Millwood has been very, very effective. He's only allowed 4 hits here this afternoon, and he's walked 1 batter. And that's been it. Here's the pitch on the way, and the breaking ball misses for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Infield, outfield. Playing Pena straight away. And the 1-0 pitch from Millwood is right around the knees for a strike. That evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kevin Millwood ranks among active pitchers in innings pitched. He is 4th in that. 2,688 innings pitched. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Check swing. Does it go around? No. Says the home plate umpire. 2 balls and 1 strike. He is 4th in strikeouts. He struck out over 2,000 batters. 435 career starts. That's 4th among active players. Next pitch swung on and hit hard into right center field. Over is the right fielder. Well, he tries to backhand. The ball gets away from him, thrown down to second base, and the slide comes in there. They've got it. Pena tried to stretch a single into a double, and the arm of Wells, who has a very good arm, by the way, made a strong, accurate throw, and that takes care of Pena. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network. And that'll bring up Jeff Francoeur, and the first pitch is a slider outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Wells went over, tried to backhand the ball and hit off the heel of his glove and kicked away from him. And with that, Pena says, I think I can make it to second. But Wells jumped on the ball quickly and threw an accurate throw to second base. And Ryan applied the tag. 1 ball, no strikes. Millwood with the signs from the catcher. And the next pitch is in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch in away. Hit off the hands and fouled back into the upper deck. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Francoeur. Francoeur 0 for 2 this afternoon. Still looking for his first hit of this series. He is 0 for 8. Has been on a little bit of a slide. A little trouble on this road trip. He is 1 for 20 in this trip. However, the 1 hit, a home run. The 1-2 pitch to Francoeur. Swung on and hit foul outside of first. So the count remains at 1-2. Kansas City has dropped 3 straight. They've lost 9 of the last 12. They have a record of 4-11 since the All-Star break. But a team very similar to that of the Mariners. It seems like they play better on the road than they do at home. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Francoeur. Swung on and hit in the gap to right center field. Over is Wells. He feels it on a hop. And that will hold Francoeur to a long single. That'll bring up the first baseman, Eric Hosmer. Hosmer is 0 for 2. He is flied out to right field. And he is lined out to first base. And here comes the skipper out. This may be it for Millwood. As they make the pitching change, and Mariners are going to go to the bullpen. We'll be right back after this word from Washington Federal. When it comes to small businesses, Washington Federal thinks big. So ask about opening a business checking account today and get help with financing and smart checking options. Washington Federal, invested here.
Well, the visit to the mound by Eric Wedge to make this pitching change brought to you by Proliant Surgeons. Proliant Surgeons, the surgical experts serving the Pacific Northwest. Mariners lead Kansas City 3-1. We're in the top half of the seventh. 1 on and 1 away. Runner at first, Frank Coeur. The new pitcher, veteran left-hander Oliver Perez. 0-2 record with a 2.77 ERA, 14 appearances.
First time that we have seen Perez in this series. However, he did work an inning against the Yankees. Here's the first pitch, a good fastball, but it's high. 94 miles an hour. 1 ball, no strikes to Eric Hosmer. Hosmer, left-hand batter. Flied out to right field, and he's lined out to first base. Perez comes set. Mariners on top by a score of 3-1. Pitch on the way, and a breaking ball is in there. Came back with a slider. Evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kansas City scored their only run in the first inning on a base hit by Billy Butler to drive in Escobar. And the Royals had a 1-0 lead until the third inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way from Perez. Sidearm fastball right back to the pitcher. Has it. Throws to second for 1. On to first base. Double play. And side retired. Good play by the pitcher. Good play by Ryan. And an easy 1-6-3 double play. And after 6.5 innings of play, Mariners on top by a score of 3-1. The 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Captain Morgan. By Captain Morgan. We have a new pitcher out there on the mound. We have Kevin Herrera, a right-hander, taking over for Chen. For Chen, he went 6 innings, and he allowed 3 runs on 7 hits. He walked 1, struck out 5. And right now, Mariners on top by a score of 3-1. Brendan Ryan will be facing the hard-throwing right-hander. Kevin Herrera, we saw him in the game last night. He went 1 inning. And had zeros across the first pitch, a fastball in there for a strike at 96 miles an hour. A good fastball, good live arm from this guy. He's not very big, 5'10". However, he does weigh 200 pounds. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball that misses. And the count is at 1 ball, 1 strike. Herrera just 22 years of age. Worked his way up through the minor league system last year. Spent a couple of games with the Royals last year. There's a tapper right back to the pitcher, Herrera. He has it, throws to first base. 1 man out here in the inning, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Dustin Ackley. Ackley this afternoon 0 for 3. He has 4 hits in this series, including a couple of runs scored. starting to swing the bat and find some holes a little bit better. Herrera works out of the stretch like a lot of the relief pitchers, and the first pitch is fouled at the feet of Ackley. Count is 0-1. So many relief pitchers today, because when they come into games so many times there are men on base, that they're accustomed to working out of the stretch, and so when they start an inning or pitch to someone with no one on, they feel more comfortable pitching from the stretch position. The 0-1 pitch on the way, and that's down low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Herrera, bent at the waist, has the signs from Pena. Next pitch, breaking ball out in front, swung on and missed. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Herrera pitched at 4 different levels for the Kansas City Royals last year, ending with a couple of appearances, as we mentioned, with the Royals at the end of the season. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way, and that's pulled to the first baseman. Down on one knee is Hosmer. He has it, tosses to the pitcher coming, and that takes care of Ackley. 3-1 on the putout. 2 men out here in the 7th inning, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Casper Wells. Well, the next time you're at Safeco Field, why don't you take a great souvenir home with you? Have a visit from the ballpark with a game-used item, including baseball straight from the game action. And you can simply visit the new game-used and autographed stand at section 128 and pick up an authentic Mariners jersey, bats, and more. Some of those souvenirs they have down there, they're pretty good. Yeah, check those things out. Here is Casper Wells. He has a couple of hits and a run scored this afternoon. Last time up, he hit into a 4-6-3 double play in the first pitch. He's down low and outside, ball 1. Beautiful day for baseball. Temperature at game time 64 degrees. Sun is out. Next pitch swung on a ground ball to second base. Bobbled by the second baseman. Yancey stays with it, throws to first base just in time to get the hustling Wells. But he gets him a 1-2-3 inning. We've played 7. Mariners on top 3-1.
for Perez. Perez throwing 3 pitches, getting 2 outs with a 1-6-3 double play to retire the Royals in the 7th inning. So a pitching change for the Mariners here in the top of the 8th. Mariners lead 3-1. We'll be back after this timeout. Well, the new pitcher for the Mariners, right-hander Brandon League, takes over here in the top of the 8th inning to face pinch hitting Lorenzo Cain, a right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch on the way, a strike, and it's 0-1. Mariners leading the Royals by a score of 3-1. League 0-5 record with a 2.91 ERA in 44 appearances. Works from the stretch. He delivers. Fastball swinging a ground ball to third. Behind the bag, backhanded by Seager. The toss across, and it's in time to get Cain. And there's one away, and Kyle makes it look so easy down there defensively over at third base. Well, friends, Wells Fargo is with you now when you might have more financial questions than answers. So whether you're creating a budget, figuring out if it's a good time to buy a house, or just trying to get a handle on your expenses, Wells Fargo is with you. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far. Rick Reyes along with Ron Fairley, producer engineer Kevin Kremen, on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Seattle. Mariners Hall of Fame day for Randy Johnson and Dan Wilson. Here is Alex Gordon, the hitter. The stretch and the pitch swung on, lined into the gap in left center field for a base hit. Gordon heading for second. Up with the ball is Saunders. Slips a little bit. Now gets off the throw to Brendan Ryan, the shortstop. And Alex Gordon winds up on its second base with a 1-out double. Now the Royals will bring the tying run to the plate in Alcides Escobar. 3-1 Mariners lead. Here's a look at some scores around baseball on this Saturday afternoon, brought to you by our Northwest Chevy dealers. Detroit and Toronto Blue Jays beating the Tigers today at Rogers Center 5-1. St. Louis and Chicago at Wrigley Field, and the Cubs win it 3-2 over the Cardinals. Russell with the win. He's now 4-0 for the Cubs. Here's Escobar, the stretch and the pitch. Breaking ball for a strike, and the count is 0-1. A slider from League. That's what today reminds me of. You know, beautiful afternoon out. A lot of fans here at the ballpark. Reminds me of going out to the ballpark as a kid growing up in the south side of Chicago with my dad. Here's the pitch on the way, low and outside in the dirt for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Did you ever get up to Wrigley Field very often?
Not as often as going out to Comiskey Park. We lived about 15-20 minutes away from Comiskey Park, but once in a while we did, and that was a real treat to see that great old ballpark with the ivy walls, and to see Ernie Banks and Ron Santo, Billy Williams, guys that you played against. Here's the stretch and the 1-1, swinging a fly ball deep into the gap in left center field. Long run, Saunders to the 1. He track can't get to it. Lands on the track and hits off the wall. Gordon rounding third. He'll score. Heading for third is Escobar. The throw in. Cut off by Ryan. A little bobble. And in at third base goes Escobar with an RBI triple to left center field. And it's a one-run game. It's now the Mariners 3 and Kansas City 2.
Ricky, I got to think that Ryan had a rough time getting the ball out of the glove. Otherwise, if he catches it and throws to third base right away, I think they have a play on Escobar.
Escobar drives one way back into the gap in left center field. Saunders, even with his speed, could not get to it. It took that short hop against the wall, then hit the fence and bounced high in the air. So now the Royals have the tying run on at third base with one out. Infield up close, and here's Chris Getz. The stretch of the pitch by Lee. Strike on the outside corner at the knees with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-1. Getz 0 for 2 on the day. He has popped up to Seager at third. He's grounded out to Carp at first base. 3-2 Mariners lead. Here's the stretch. And the 0-1 to Getz, swing and a bounce foul out by the Mariner dugout. Bounces right over the roof of the dugout into the seats. And it's now 0-2 on Getz. So Brandon Lake trying to do some fancy pitching right here to get Getz by himself a strikeout or a pop-up. Let's see if the Royals use the contact play. If Getz hits a ground ball, the stretch and the pitch. Getz with a swing and a chopper to second. Up with the ball is Zach Lee, and the throw to first is in time to get Getz. Holding at third base was Escobar. No contact play. Well, otherwise Escobar would have been out.
He would have been out, but you keep in mind you have Butler, their best hitter, coming up next. Got to remember who's on deck.
And here comes Billy Butler.
The other thing is, I don't think you're going to pitch to him.
You know, you got two bases open. Why? He's 3 for 3 on the day. You got the tied run on at third base. Yeah, you'd be putting the go-ahead run aboard, but you might want to take your chances with Betancourt, and that's what Eric Wedge does. There is ball one. They will intentionally walk Billy Butler. They've seen enough of Butler all season long, so they will put Butler aboard with an intentional walk.
Well, he has 7 hits in this series. And he's driven in another run here today.
And there is ball 3. So Billy Butler getting the free pass. So the Royals, with 2 outs, will have runners on at first and third. And there is ball 4. So Butler drops the bat and heads on up the first base line to the bag there. Escobar, the tying run, is on at third base. And now Billy Butler, the go-ahead run, is on at first base. But that was a good move right there by Eric Wedge, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and there are a lot of managers. They're very reluctant to walk the go-ahead run. But you know what? In certain circumstances, I agree with that. But not when you have a guy that's a good hitter as Butler, and you have Betancourt coming up there, who is a pretty good hitter, but he has a huge strike zone.
Here's the pitch on the way to Betancourt, and it's down and away with a slider, ball 1.
Now, Betancourt, by the way, has driven in 25 runs in the last 28 games. So he's been swinging the bat well, although he's hitless so far here today.
Brandon League trying to get himself out of a jam. 2 on, 2 outs, 1 in, 3-2 Mariners lead, top of the 8th. Here's the 1-0 pitch, swung on, ground ball to third, taken by Seager. He's got it, toss across in time to get Betancourt, and that will end the inning. Good strategy by Eric Wedge, intentionally walking Billy Butler, taking their chances with Betancourt. He bounces out to Seager at third, and that'll end the inning. But the Royals get 1 run on 2 hits, and they leave a pair. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Mariners 3, Kansas City 2. It's now the Mariners 3 and the Royals 2 as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Kansas City with some changes. First of all, the new pitcher, left-hander Jose Mijares, will take over in relief. Mijares 2-1 record with a 1.67 ERA in 47 appearances. And Lorenzo Cain, a pinch hitter in the top half of the 8th inning, stays in the ball game to play center field for Jared Dyson. So on the mound, Mijares to take a look at Michael Saunders, Jesus Montero, Kyle Seager. Looking for an insurance run. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Saunders squares the bunt and he takes a pitch outside. Ball 1. Look at the Northwest Chevy Dealers scoreboard. Cardinals in Chicago. The Cubs win at 3-2 over the Cards. The other final, Blue Jays win at home 5-1 over the Tigers. The stretch and the 1-0 pitch and a swing and a miss by Saunders. 1-1 on Michael. Saunders looking for his first base hit of the ball game. He's lined out to short, struck out, popped up to Gordon in left field. The 1-1 is outside. Ball 2. 2-1. Well, the summer games opening up, the official opening ceremonies yesterday in London. Here's the stretch and the 2-1 pitch. Check swing and it's outside. Ball 3. 3-1. Well, 4 years ago, back in 2008, Michael Saunders represented Canada at the summer games in Beijing. What a thrill that had to be for Michael. Mijares looks in, ready, and the left-hander's 3-1 pitch up and in. Ball 4. So Mijares watched the leadoff batter Michael Saunders here in the bottom of the 8th as the Mariners look to add on to their 1-run 3-2 lead over Kansas City. And here's designated hitter Jesus Montero. Montero, once again, another big day against Kansas City. Today, 2 for 3 with a single and a 2-run home run, Red.
I tell you, he has been absolutely wearing them out. He is 2 for 3 today. That means that he is 14 for 23.
Here's a throw to first base by Mijares, and diving back safely is Saunders.
And to go along with that, as you mentioned, he's hit 2 home runs, and he has driven in 10 runs against Kansas City so far this year. And this is only what, the 8th game?
Yeah. Runner goes, pitch on the way, a ball, throw down to second, not in time. Michael Saunders swipes second base, and my goodness, he had a huge jump off of the pitcher Mijares. No chance for the catcher Brian Pena to throw out Saunders at second base. Saunders was a good third of the way, at least, maybe even more down the line to second before Mijares got rid of that pitch.
I bet you Saunders took 7 strides before he released the ball out there on the mound. That's how good of a jump he had.
And now time is called. Manager Ned Yost out to the mound. They have a talk with Mijares. No activity down in the bullpen. Oh, yes, there is. Couldn't see him. He was hitting for a second, but right-hander Holland warming up down to the pen.
Yeah, Greg Holland down there loosening up. Ned Yost has finished his meeting out there on the mound.
1-0 the count on Jesus Montero. Maybe just a reminder saying, hey, if he stole second that easily, would he go on the next pitch?
Well, probably turn around and say something about the Montero up there. I mean, you got a base open, so you don't have to give him anything good to hit.
Here's the pitch to Jesus. Check swing, and it's up high. Ball 2. 2 balls to no strikes. Jesus singled back in the first, hit that 2-run home run to left field in the 3rd inning, and is flied out to right. Next pitch, and it's inside. Ball 3. 3-0.
They're not going to give him anything to hit.
No. They might as well just put him on at this point.
They might just, well, yeah, go ahead and do that. They have a left-hand hitter up next.
Good crowd this afternoon. They're actually doing the wave cheering. Here's the 3-0 pitch, way up and outside for ball 4. So that's the semi-intentional walk. And Montero is on at first base. So 2 on and nobody out. Let's pause. For station identification, this is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network. We have a pinch runner for Montero at first base. Sean Figgins goes out to run for Jesus Montero. So Figgins at first, Saunders on at second. Here's Kyle Seager, shortens up to bunt, and he takes a breaking ball on the outside corner. 0-1. Mariners could not get the sacrifice bunt down back in the fourth inning, and it cost them because they ended up hitting into a double play to end the inning. Seager trying to get the bunt down on the third base side to make Betancourt field it. With Saunders at second. Here's the stretch. Seager turns the bunt, lays it down third base side. Picked up on the pitch of Maharis. Bobbles, throws to third, and the ball is dropped by Betancourt. Everybody is safe. Mijares, the pitcher, had to stay at home and cover that third base line. He got to the ball, but then he had a little bit of a bobble as he tried to make the transfer. The throw to Betancourt. He drops the ball. Saunders safe at third. Figgins safe at second, and Seager is on at first base.
Top of that, he threw the ball right around the feet of Betancourt. You know, you're expecting a throw that's going to be pretty accurate, but when you're at that short a distance and you throw the ball down low, it's going to be tough to catch.
So now the Mariners have the bases loaded, and out to the mound again goes manager Ned Yost. That's it for Mijares. A pitching change for Kansas City. Mariners 3, the Royals 2. Don't go away. Bases loaded, nobody out. Back with more after this.
.62 batting average. But right now, Mariners are threatening to break this game wide open. They have bases loaded, nobody out. And you have coming to the plate John Jaso, who's going to pinch hit for Miguel Olivo. And once again, here's Rick.
All right, Red. So here he is, John Jaso, with the bases loaded, nobody out. Mariners trying to add to that 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the eighth inning. Jaso swinging a very, very hot bat for the Mariners. Greg Holland on the mound, and the infield is up close for Kansas City. Saunders on at third base. Figgins at second. Seager at first. Here's the stretch and the pitch, and it's down and away for ball one. Over his last 36 games, Jaso is hitting .330 with 4 home runs and 20 runs batted in. He has 5 home runs on the year and 30 RBIs. Everybody close. Here's the stretch. And the right-hander's 1-0 pitch to Jaso. It is a strike on the outside corner, and the count is even at 1-1. Now, John Jaso has stepped to the plate 32 times this year with at least 2 runners on base. He's got 3 on base right now and is batting .435. with those situations. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Strike 2 called on the inside corner, says home plate umpire Jordan Baker. And it's 1-2 on Jaso. John has done such a good job of feasting on a fastball. Saunders, Figgins, and Seager aboard at third, second, and first. 3-2 Mariners. Taking some time is Holland. Now the stretch, and the 1-2 on the way, and here she comes. Jaso takes low and inside with a breaking ball. Ball 2, and it's 2-2. Good eye by John. On deck for the Mariners, first baseman Mike Carp. Saunders led off the inning with a walk, stole second, then the intentional walk to Montero. Figgins out the pinch run. Seager was safe on the sacrifice bunt attempt as they went to third. Betancourt dropped the ball. Here's the set. And the 2-2 on the way. Jaso is swinging a ground ball to first, backhanded by Hosmer. Goes home for the force on Saunders. That's all they're going to get. So Hosmer coming right to the plate to the catcher Brian Pena for the force at the plate on Saunders. One away. So for Jaso, a 3-2 fielder's choice. Seager will get to second, and Figgins is on at third. One down, and here is Mike Carp. Carp 0 for 3 on the day, looking for his first base hit. Couple of strikeouts, and he's also lined out to Escobar at short. Mariners 3 runs on 7 base hits. Royals 2 runs on 8. Here's the set by Holland. And the pitch on the way to Carp, and it's in the dirt. Good stop by the catcher, Pena. Ball 1. Mike with a home run in last night's ball game, going 2 for 4.
You know, the Mariners were lucky that didn't turn out to be a double play. As Pena had enough time. He'd already tagged home plate, enough time to throw the ball to first base to get Jaso.
Here's the stretch, and the 1-0 on the way, and a swing and a fly ball down the left field line. On the run, Alex Gordon in toward the corner. He's there, and he makes the catch. Tagging at third, heading home. Sean Figgins, he will score. The throw in by Gordon, cut off by the third baseman Betancourt. Mike Carp with a sacrifice fly down the left field line, tagging and scoring Sean Figgins, and it's now the Mariners 4 and Kansas City 2.
I know it's not easy, but I'm just wondering what happens now if the left fielder, if Gordon would have let that ball hit the ground. Was it a fair ball or a foul ball?
It was hard to tell. We kind of lost sight of Alex down that line, but he may have been inside fair territory where he had to make that catch, and he was.
Well, I'm just saying if it's in foul territory,
Yeah.
if you're your outfielder, just go ahead and let the ball hit the ground.
So now 2 outs, and here is Trayvon Robinson. And the Mariners have Seager at second, Jaso at first. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a miss by Robinson. And the count is 0-1.
Yeah, because if you catch it, if it's in foul territory.
Yeah.
And you're going to guarantee the other team scores a run. You're already down, a run anyway, so you might as well take a chance and give your pitcher a chance to get the inning.
No chance to throw him out, which he didn't. Here's the set now by Holland. And the 0-1 on the way. Robinson a swing and a foul out of play on the third base side. And the count is 0-2. Late on that 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Holland. But a big run in here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Little bit of breathing room right now. Mariners would love to add on to that 2-run lead, which is now 4-2 over Kansas City. Holland looks in, gets the sign. Long look in, and now too much time for Trayvon as he calls time, and he backs away from home plate. And now the catcher Brian Pena goes out to have a word with Greg Holland. Well, friends, extend your weekend one day further and make Mondays at Safeco Field another evening out with BECU Family Night. The next event is scheduled for this Monday against the Blue Jays at 7:10, where you can pick up select view level seats for only $10. For more information, visit mariners.com/specials. 2 on, 2 outs, a big run in. 4-2 Mariners lead, bottom of the 8th inning. Here's the set. And the pitch on the way to Robinson. Strike 3 called on the inside corner, and that will retire the side. Well, the Mariners get 1 run. 1 run without the aid of a base hit. No hits, no errors, and 2 men left on. We go to the top half of the 9th inning. Hang on time. We go to the 9th. It's the Mariners 4, Kansas City 2.
Uh-oh. It's gone. George Brett has just homered, and Billy Martin and the Yankees want the bat.
They might be going to call George Brett out.
Well, the Yankees win. He's out.
Yes, sir.
Brett is out. Look at this. Brett is out. And
he's steaming mad.
He is out and having to be forcibly restrained from hitting plate umpire Tim McClellan. And the Yankees have won the ball game 4-3. Brett is called out for using an illegal bat or with the illegal substance.
With a couple of strikeouts.
You know, he has turned into one of the premier, I think, closers in this league. I mean, after all, he's got a fastball. He threw one the other night, 101 miles an hour, to go with that really good, I mean, an exceptionally good overhand curveball.
And now he's also mixing in that changeup about 89, 90 miles an hour, so he's got even more weapons than he had when he picked up his first save of the year back on June the 4th. Here is Brian Pena to lead off the top half of the ninth inning. Mariners lead 4-2. The pitch on the way by Tom, and it's a fastball at 97 for a strike, and it's 0-1. Brandon League working the top of the eighth inning, gave up 1 run on 2 hits, walked a batter. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, foul on the first base side, and it's 0-2 to Pena. That was the intentional walk to Billy Butler. Read in that strategy. Worked out very well because the Mariners got Yuniesky Betancourt for the final out of the eighth inning. After they had scored a run, they left runners at first and third. Wilhelmsen looks in. He's ready. Here's the windup. And the 0-2 pitch swung on and fouled out of play off to our left. At a 98 mile an hour fastball, and the count is still 0-2. Pena is 1 for 2, singled, but was thrown out at second, trying to stretch a single into a double. Thrown out by Casper Wells to Brendan Ryan. Here's a swing and a fly ball lifted to left field. Over toward the line goes Robinson. Trayvon is there, and he makes the catch, and there's out number 1. Well, friends, a blanket giveaway in the summer. You'll warm up to the idea Friday, August 17th, when the first 15,000 fans, 21 and older, take home a fuzzy, full-size, great-feeling Mariners fleece blanket thanks to EQC. For tickets to Mariners fleece blanket night against the Minnesota Twins, visit mariners.com. 1 away, and here is Jeff Francoeur, the right fielder for Kansas City. The windup of the pitch, and it's high and inside from Wilhelmsen. Ball 1. Fans look it up back at Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson and Dan Wilson honored today. Here's the pitch on the way, and a swing.